Today we're going to be talking about 5 areas that you can organize today. This is a great way to kickstart your week so that you have a fresh new slate. It's always nice to just start over and to have everything brand new. These lists that I've created are the lists that will make the biggest difference overall in your house. So if you tackle these 5 areas, it will make a huge difference to everyone in your family. So the very first area is your clothes. A really good tip for clothes is to get a capsule wardrobe, to create one. So right now we're in the summer going on fall months, and so basically create a capsule of 30 items or so. It doesn't have to be 30, it can be whatever fits your ideal, and set it aside, and then that way as soon as you start the day you already know what you're going to wear because everything's laid out. Everything goes with everything. For me, I wear a lot of black. Everything about black I like because it suits all occasions. So basically find colors like that, natural colors or just your favorite color for instance, and build your wardrobe around that and keep the rest of it hidden away. So therefore you can see what it's like to have clarity, to have very few things, and you might be tempted to pare down your wardrobe for good in that way. And the next area is paperwork. There's so much paperwork that comes inside of the house. It gets out of control very easily. So a way to deal with it is to throw out everything automatically. Just try it for 30 days. It can be longer than that, but just throw out everything unless it's absolutely important that you keep it. So things that you got to keep are things from your children's school. For instance, if you get papers from your children's school, or if you get a lot of bills that are not automatic. Other than that, you can trash basically everything else. Getting in the habit of getting rid of mail, calling the companies if you want to go the extra step, but just recycling and getting rid of all the mail as soon as it comes through the door, because everything gets overwhelming. It just trickles in and you look at magazines and it encourages you to buy new things that are not going to actually add any value. It's better just to have a clean slate and get rid of all the mail as it's coming in as much as possible. Get to automatic bill pay as much as possible, but therefore you can just throw out everything. That's what I do. As soon as I get magazines and stuff like that, I usually don't even flip through them. I just throw them out immediately. I don't shop based on sales and coupons because I buy so little bit that it doesn't really make that much of a difference. If you're buying all the time, then sales become more of a requirement, but it's way better and way more affordable just to spend less money to reuse what you have, to repair what you have if you can, to go bargain shopping, or to use your energy to read books or to learn skills that are very practical, for instance. So there is so much more outside in nature especially, but there's so much more that you can do that doesn't include things. And the reason why I'm emphasizing things is not because this video is about minimalism, but when it comes to organization, the easiest way is if you have less things to organize. But the more complicated your life becomes, the more you need a whole bunch of notebooks and calendars, and all these things need to organize every aspect because everything is becoming too complicated. So I get a lot done, but I don't use a lot of tools to accomplish that because there are so few things that I focus on at a time that it's always obvious what I need to be doing next, if that makes sense. And so always obvious what I enjoy doing as well because I'm paying very close attention. A lot of life is based on paying closer attention, which we're going to get into in the next video on productivity. For now, getting rid of mail immediately as soon as it comes in is always a good idea. Digitizing your books as much as possible, which digitizing books and things like that, getting paper down as much as possible always makes sense. So having all these books on the Kindle makes a lot of sense. Even if I hardly have any books in my house, in my ideal house, I don't have any books, maybe a couple of hobby books for a hobby or something I'm working on at that time. For instance, if you're learning a language, you might have a book in the language you're learning, something like that. A hobby that's very specific, you might want to have a hard copy, but generally speaking, digitizing as much as possible always makes sense. And so the third one is to digitize media, and that includes DVDs, all of your books, just so that you have less to move. We never really realize how much stuff we have until we're moving, and then on the moving day, you're hauling all those books and they're extremely heavy. And then you have to ask yourself, how often do you go through these books? Obviously, it's so much better if it's on Kindle. You can highlight it easily. You can go back to your favorite parts easily. It just makes so much more sense to digitize as much as possible and not to buy hard copies of anything when it comes to media. So when it comes to books, like I said, I keep my favorites and I keep the ones that are hobby. So for instance, I have a watercolor book right now, and whatever I'm working on at the moment, I might have a hobby book on it. One of my favorite books of all time is My Inventions by Tesla. It was actually written by Tesla. This is one of the most inspiring books. I'm going to get more into it in my productivity video. But this is one of the most inspiring books. People nowadays that talk about productivity and that try to get you going and that inspire you to just get up and do things, man, if this book doesn't inspire you to get things done, if this book doesn't make you feel lazy, I don't know what will. But this is one of the most enjoyable books I've ever read, and I've read it many times, so I go through it often. And so keeping a hard copy of it just makes sense. The very next thing is furniture. When it comes to furniture, the one thing you want to do is, before you ever buy anything, to really think, is this going to serve multi-use? There is furniture nowadays that is basically futuristic. For instance, when I was growing up, I had a table that it extended out. So if you have guests, you can extend it outward, or if you're working on a big project, for instance, painting or scrapbooking, you can extend it out, and that makes so much sense. That's really ingenious. And there is plenty of furniture like that is automatic. In the future, I really hope that they come out with more things that are automatic. For instance, I know there's got to be some invention in the works that can clean the counters and the sink for you. So all you have to do is load the dishes and it will clean all the counters and sinks for you. Just imagine one day there's going to be an invention like that. And I'm really hoping that one day we'll also have curtains. Every curtain will be able to be opened from your phone or a voice command, and every drawer will be able to be opened with a voice command or a finger touch. You barely even have to touch it and it just opens for you automatically. We already have the ability to do these things. It's just getting it to market takes a while, but you know that in 50 years all these things are going to be automatic. It's going to be so incredible. But in the meantime, you want to design your house in that manner. Think of it in a futuristic manner as much as possible. How can I get the most use out of the furniture I'm buying? So in the sense of my couch that I bought, I wanted a couch that would lift up, that was automatic, because then I wouldn't need an ottoman for my feet. And then also you can have little side tables, and then you don't need a coffee table, for instance. So then there's plenty of room to stretch or to play or to do projects on the living room floor. It's so much easier to clean in that manner. So think about your furniture in that way. Maybe one day the furniture will be able to fold into the wall automatically. You won't even have to touch anything, and it will just fold up the bed for you, and then your desk will splay out or something like that. Everything could be automatic. But there is so much furniture that's designed very well, thinking about small spaces and efficiency. So when you go shopping, think about that. How can I get the most bang for my buck? How can I get furniture that will suit many purposes with as few pieces as possible? Because furniture is so big. So if you have something that's too clunky or it only serves one purpose, it can weigh down your house. It can be hard to clean around and things like that. So for instance, I replaced my bigger vacuum with the little Roomba, and the Roomba is way less effort for me, and it's way smaller too. So it's less visual, it takes up less visual space. It's things like that, making little improvements to your house that really get you excited when you wake up in the morning. I can't tell you, I actually get joy when I come home, whether I'm traveling or I'm just coming home after a car ride, and I come home and everything's sparkling. The vacuum just vacuumed everything up while I was gone, and everything is sparkling. Everything is clean, and Pat is walking around, furs flying off of her, but the vacuum's cleaning it up after her. So I'm telling you guys, there's so much room for efficiency in this day and age. It's just keeping an eye out for it, for the opportunity. Part of the reason why I got into woodworking was because I wanted to build things that would float on the wall, that was made within the dimensions I needed exactly, because I have very few things and I wanted things to be exact. For instance, for my makeup, I wanted to drill some holes that was exactly the amount of the lip liners or whatever I'm storing, so that there would be no wasted space, and I wanted to elevate it on the wall, whether it's a nightstand or it's a makeup kit or anything. I wanted everything to be elevated so everything's very easy to clean. For instance, on the nightstand I've been working on for so long, but basically I designed it so that there would be on the corner, there would be a notch in it, so that when I'm laying in bed, I could just pull the drawer open with that notch, and I don't have to reach into the center. It's just ways like that to make things more efficient. But furniture is already designed in efficient ways. We just have to find it in most cases. The second to the last thing to organize is your cords. Anything tech. As soon as something that comes in the door that is tech related, it comes with so much extra stuff. Booklets, warranties, cords. But really pay attention pay very close attention. Mindfulness is very important when it comes to organization, minimalism, happiness, anything like that. Paying attention to what is affecting what and what is productive and what is not. For instance, overthinking is something that I habitually would do, but now I catch myself when I'm doing it and I snap out of it. I can snap out of it. And there are times where I lose perspective and I can snap out of that. As these things are coming in the door, for instance, these cords, a lot of them, they're the same type of cord. You already have so many of them. So my Kindle, for instance, I just charge it on my phone. And my Bluetooth, I charge it on my phone cord too. Almost everything I own charges on that cable, so I don't need all the ones that are coming in, and I'm not going to keep them just in case. I just don't need them. So, but if you're not paying close attention, you won't realize that these are the same cord because you're not looking at the ending. So basically paying very close attention as things are coming in, being present and in the moment, and getting rid of all the excess, getting rid of the booklets because you can find them online. The warranties, unless the item is very expensive, I get rid of all the warranties right away. The boxes, if I have made a careful decision, I'm confident in that decision, I just throw out the box nowadays. I don't keep it just in case. I just don't buy that many things, that's why. When things come in, all the extra stuff, basically get rid of it as soon as possible, and now we're left with cords. Cords are unfortunately a part of our society. Maybe one day this is another thing that will be eliminated. Then you come into your house and everything's just automatically charged. Cords are an eyesore. So hiding cords is very important, and that's one way to really organize and feel way lighter in your house. So I have this cord cover in the bedroom, just made out of cloth. It's just made out of cloth, and you can make a zipper on it or you can make buttons on it, and it just covers the cord, the TV cord, in that way, so it's not an eyesore. And I also have cord boxes where there's a whole bunch of cords where all my equipment is, and it just makes it look clean instantaneously. It's like magic. I didn't get into that, but I've done whole videos on organizing the kitchen as efficiently as possible so everything flows into each other and everything makes sense and is multi-use as much as possible. These 5 categories will completely change your morning routine, your day routine. Every time you come home, everything will be organized and put into place, and it will really give you a head start so you don't feel like there's so much you got to get to and then you just don't do anything, because when you see the environment is clean, it's like a clean slate. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.